Jersey City boy on the rooftops, cool in the city, hot-headed in the night, got it burning for a good way forward, got a fire in his side. Jesuit school and daddy is a doctor, nanny in the attic and Johnny's got cancer, mama's got 5 kids, you've got asthma. Take it to the shore, just a Benny on the beach with a hard-cut style, another restless kid on the Avon Mile. Hail Marys and rock and roll, and Springsteen is gonna save your soul. You got the spark that'll start this fire, and everywhere I go, there you are. I could feel it in my blood, there you are. What a restless soul, what a heart on fire. I wanna take it there, I wanna find you here. A requiem, could let it go now, and all the things lost, could let them go now, could let them go now, yeah, could let them go now, could let them go now, yeah, could let them go. I held you suffering, I didn't want it, I got a tough skin, I didn't want it, I didn't want it, yeah. I didn't want it, I didn't want it, yeah. I didn't want it. The salty sickest at the bottom of the sea, I don't know it, see my tongue, followed you down to the bottom of the sea. I grew gills, my blood thickened. I got
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Myrna Soundstage. Glad to have you back, or if it's your first time here, we're glad that you're watching. I'm here with Rachel Cardiello and John Cardiello, members of the band ZINNIA, and y'all had a show the other night here at the Myrna Loy, a real, actual concert with people at it. I could hear them. So this is a combo deal. It's a soundstage and a concert. John, we know that it's Rachel's band, so I'm starting with you. How did the show go the other night for you?
Oh, it was incredible. Yeah, it was just super emotional actually, just to like be in a room sharing an experience with that many people. The second song, when we went into the first like real rock and full band song, I almost just started crying. I was like overcome with emotion, just not because of like all the sad songs. It was just during like the real rockin' moment when we're all five of us were playing really loud music together in a big room and people were like applauding. And it was just like this energy that was really cool. Yeah, and I haven't played a show since the last ZINNIA show here at the Myrna, which was 19 months ago.
Right, December of 19?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was kind of our album release here. And I think for a lot of you guys, it was like the very last performance you had. And so it was kind of neat to bookend it with a Myrna Loy performance.
Oh, yeah.
Even rehearsing makes me cry. Like I just, getting to make music with people again in person and to have a year and a half of none of that was just beyond heartbreaking. And so, yeah, to have this be the kind of initial burst into performance again and have a sold out Myrna Loy show and just all the energy of the crowd. The Myrna Loy is such an attentive crowd that they're dead silent for the performance, and then between songs, the explosion and having all these people on stage that I love. It was really, really nice for us.
Did you get nervous?
I tend not to get nervous, but like 2 minutes before we went on stage, when Chris was introducing us, I ran backstage to go to the bathroom and ended up with like wet stripe across my entire lap from the sink.
And like a light colored jumpsuit.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm freaking out, like scrubbing away. And the band, like my actual little brother is not annoying, but Trevor is like an annoying little brother. And he is just making fun of me and I just am dripping wet. So
we were all cracking up in the back, like Trevor's like, Rach, friction, it'll evaporate the water faster.
Yeah.
And Chris is giving like a really nice speech and we're all in the back like cracking up.
I was like, I've waited a year and a half and now this.
Yeah.
This is the moment I get to step on stage.
I asked because I've played very little, but just a couple shows, and I was amazed at how nervous I got, having not been nervous for years.
I felt nervous knowing it was filmed. I felt like I always trust a live performance, and I trust like being in the moment with the audience and enjoying that. But as soon as it's filmed, you know it's frozen forever. And we had just gotten this Montana band together a couple weeks before to finally practice. So it does keep you on edge a bit to want to be perfect, which is a hard thing to have in mind when you're performing.
Speaking of which, John, how is Rachel at leading rehearsals? Because you have your Toronto band, and we'll get to that. But who put this band together, by the way? And how is Rachel as a band leader? Is she a slave driver? 6-hour rehearsals? What's the process like?
Yeah, we had 3 a days starting at 5 a.m. No, I'm just kidding. No, she was really great. I think she's played in many other people's bands over the years, and so I feel like you have a really good understanding of what it's like to play someone else's music, which makes it easier to be in your band and learn your music, which I think is cool. But I think this show is definitely the biggest learning curve for Sanders because it was his first show with ZINNIA, whereas Trevor, Brody, and I had played these songs before, or most of them.
Rachel, say the full names of the people who were in the band and who played what, please.
Yeah, we had Trevor Riddle on bass, who is an old buddy of mine. We were in the symphony together starting in the late years of middle school. So we've been around each other a long time. John Cardiello on keys, on synth. Brody Montgomery on drums. And then new in the band, our Montana band, is Sanders Smith on guitar. Many of them are members of Wrinkles, which is John's synth pop band.
Oh, you're in Wrinkles. I've heard you.
Oh, nice.
I've heard you at the Jesters
cool.
some years ago.
Cool.
Yeah. A bunch of your high school teachers were out
Yeah.
to hear that show.
And grade school and teachers, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sanders and Brody are also in Wrinkles.
Okay.
Yeah. James Burrows used to play guitar with us, and so this was our first show with Sanders. And what my aim is when I'm leading a band is to get each musician to bring out the best of their ability and to really use their gut instincts and not necessarily replicate the album. So a big thing I was trying to do with Sanders is to say, like, I know you have a whole different spectrum of musical taste, and try to bring that into our ZINNIA sound. And so, yeah, to be on stage with him and just to see the different ways he moved through songs and the different choices he made was really fun.
Yeah, so I only heard 6 of the songs that you performed, and I was glad to hear those since I wasn't there. Lenny made that happen for me. And Sanders got a guitar solo in one of those. It doesn't seem like there are a lot of solos in your music. It seems, if not orchestrated, at least arranged.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. My album before was very, like, 1960s girl band or Motown influenced, and when we used to perform with that, I would leave a lot more space for long solos and to see what was happening in each musical break and to let the song develop however it wanted. With this recent album, Sensations in Two Dot, I feel like I had a much more pointed thing to say, and the structure is very tight. So, like, with the solos, like when he does have a guitar solo, I try to leave that open to whatever he feels like doing.
Right.
But the structure is very exact.
We've just been so pumped for this show. I feel like we don't really know what to do with ourselves. We're gonna try a few new songs. This one's called Out of My Head.
I can't get it out of my head. No, I can't get it out of my head. What am I supposed to do with it? How am I supposed to use it? If I can't get it out of my head. No, I can't get it out of my head.
Sandy on guitar.
Virginia Ray, I met you in your third life. One hand on the cane, the other hand in the air. I just coming out of her days. Something about turning 30. Something about all the money I was spending on my record. I was tired of being tired. I was scared that it'd be like before when it didn't go away so easy. Cuddle me shoulder, couldn't look you in the eye. All the things that you see, how do you reckon to love? I'm just a kid, missiles under the pasture in North Carolina. Your second life in the army. Guess you were looking for a ticket out. Did you find it in the river? Blackwater at midnight. Maybe you found it in the arms of a lover. But those are stories that you say. Yeah, you don't tell them so easy. Cuddle me shoulder, couldn't look you in the eye. All the things that you see, how do you reckon to love? I'm just a kid, Virginia Ray, I met you in your third life. One hand on the cane, the other hand in the air. I just coming out of her days.
In Toronto, you play in more than your own band, it sounds like.
Yeah,
So what else are you doing?
I'm mostly like out for hire. So I've recorded on a lot of folk albums. I play viola, so that ends up being the instrument that I get hired out on. Or in quartets, I'll play like quartets with pop and rock folk bands. I have a weird gig where I show up at a nightclub at 1 a.m. and play one song and get paid. I stand on a table with a spotlight and then I go home.
In a club.
In a nightclub.
Yeah.
It's like viola solo over a top 40 hit, and then I go home. So I feel like that's like the joy of the city for me, is getting to jump around in all these different scenes, country bands, rock bands.
I've never spent any time in Toronto. I mean, I've driven through exactly once.
Yeah.
And so I know nothing about it. Tell me what it's like to live there and what it's like to play music there. What's the scene like?
I just have a huge sweet spot for Toronto. I feel like it's not an easy city to just like send a random person to and hope they'll enjoy it. It's not like LA, like go to the Hollywood sign, go to the beach. Toronto is like very neighborhood based and super community based. I find the music scene really supportive in a beautiful way. And it's very multicultural, so there's like a really awesome Little Italy, Little Korea, Chinatown.
Right.
And it's just every 3 blocks, it's a whole new neighborhood. And you really feel the identity of each neighborhood. So, and for music, it's the only city in Canada where there seems to be like enough people to generate many different music scenes, so you can jump around and be part of a lot. Apparently there's a huge reggae scene there that I've really just never come across. And so even now I've been there almost 10 years, I feel like there's so many scenes I've yet to kind of discover.
And how'd you land there?
Basically, I married my way in.
You sly devil. You
Yeah,
are.
that's what
Because
you
now
gotta
you're
do.
in. Now you're
Now
in.
I'm in.
I just feel like the caliber of musicians that you're around is pretty cool to visit, which connects back to that other question about if we were nervous, because I would say I don't usually get nervous either, but I was nervous partially because you feel the pressure, because I've seen Rachel's Toronto band before, and they're incredible musicians, like really high caliber. Speaking mostly just to like Chris, Rach's synth player in Toronto, is an incredible pianist that just like is beyond incredible with all its synths too, and it felt like huge shoes to try to step into.
Chris is like a mad scientist on the synth. Like,
Yeah.
he is just wild. We recorded just grand piano and me for Pop Montreal.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's him on the keys. He is just a beyond belief player and a really emotional player, which is very nice to have paired with the technique, because otherwise I feel like what's the point of the technique if you can't bring emotion into it? But the songs like really blossom in different hands. Like, I love how the sounds that John got for the Montana band, like, were like they like felt so good. And we've gone on siblings tours before, and John and I always have the same tendency towards epic builds. Like, we just
Yeah.
want every song to go like super meta.
That is clear in your music, the dynamics, and it's been commented on by other interviewers and things like that. Do you have to think about it, or when you write something, is that the natural arc that it takes?
I think the build is very natural. Like, I sort of wish I could just write a chill song that stayed chill, but it's just like an emotional thing. It just gets there. It's been a bit of a journey to figure out how to sing at the level of power needed to get over a whole band. You know, you can do so much with your voice when it's really intimate and quiet. I think of like Billie Eilish. She records her songs so close,
Right.
so she can get so many nuances in her voice that are in that really intimate zone.
Huh.
But yeah, learning how to sing big enough for the huge moments has been a fun journey. That was sort of a pandemic project, was taking Zoom lessons with this great voice teacher
Oh,
in
really?
Toronto, and like learning old Italian songs and learning how to use the vowels in your mouth in different ways to like really let them like flourish.
I feel like it's noticeable too, like this trip coming home, your voice, it like projects in a different way from that training, I feel like, which is cool.
Yeah, without hurting myself.
Yeah.
So you can take lessons at stuff and get better?
Who knew?
Not me.
I do think though it's interesting, that question, because I've always wondered like where we get that from, that propensity to like make everything into these epic dynamic builds.
Yeah.
Because like we grew up on like the Beatles, Joni Mitchell, Cat Stevens, things that aren't necessarily musically like super dynamic. Maybe
Right.
our mom is into like really dramatic movies. She comes to the Myrna like all the time,
All the time.
I would say. I don't know. I've always
She
been
probably comes
interesting.
like 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
She's like a hardcore Myrna Loy movie lady.
Thank you for keeping the place afloat.
We have a very chatty family, but if you are making art, people leave you alone. So even through like really emotional stuff in high school, I would just go play piano. We had this like beautiful old piano, and it was like the most comforting space to be in. And that piano,
It's probably the instrument of the piano related, because it's like pianos are so dynamic
Yeah.
in that you can get
Yeah.
so quiet and then you can hammer away, and it's like the most emotive feeling.
and it holds so much weight.
Yeah.
Like you can only go so far with like plucking a viola.
Do you write on piano or guitar, or do you write in your head and then bring it to an instrument later?
I used to always write on piano, but living in a city, I've not lived with a piano the whole time. So then I would sometimes go to viola or guitar. And what ended up being my like route of choice was just biking around town or walking and just writing as I walk. I'll just record it in a voice memo, and when I find an instrument finally, I'll figure out what chords go with it.
I do the same thing. I write while I hike.
Really?
Because I'm not a very good instrumentalist. I mean, I use them, right? They're tools.
But you can hear
I
the
write when I
chords.
hike because there's the cadence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And
definitely
I've
done
thought about that with the rhythms, and I've tried to like look at my songs and been like, what's a biking song to get
yeah.
that rhythm?
Yeah.
And what's a like city walking song where you're like moving a bit faster, and what's like a mountain walking song?
An uphill song. Yeah, yeah.
The
Really
slow one.
slow.
We keep slowing this song down.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Lupins on the road and sorrow in the north. You've been hanging on a dream for so long. Got an aching heart in Montreal. Didn't think it'd be so hard to let him love you. I see you there. I can feel you. I have arms to hold you, but I haven't roots. Come on to me now. Let me hold you. There's a softness here of taking down my walls. Blood is in the south and fire
Rachel, I want to ask you about some songs, some lyrics. I listened to Requiem. Do you have a tough skin?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we went through some really hard stuff in my like late teen years. John was younger, and I think I can get through a lot. And maybe what I'm proud of is not having like such a tough skin that things don't affect me anymore. I'm pretty good at just letting things wash through my system and then like getting back to where I'm at. But because writing music is such a therapeutic thing for me, and I've used it to help. I've used it as a way to kind of understand what I'm going through, like either with losing our dad or being in the mental hospital. Like it just, I sort of needed the music to help me process what was going on in my life. And so I kind of had to make a choice on stage if I could handle presenting that or not. And it felt important enough to me to like hold that on stage that I think I have learned ways of building a callus around certain stories in order to present it.
I want to ask you about the song Lithium. It was my favorite one that I heard, on the few that I heard, and I hope that it's not just that I'm uncool and it was just like a guitar and a voice and I'm a folk person or something, because I really do like the bigger sound and the synth pop. But I took some notes on the lyrics that I'm just going to read to you, and then I'm going to ask you about it.
Sure.
Okay? The thing about the hospital was I was hoping that I wouldn't need it. The thing about the lithium is that I guess I'll miss my edges a tad. Do you?
Yeah. When I was 20, I ended up in the mental hospital for 5 weeks. It was a really long stay. And we have a history of bipolarism in our family. Our dad was bipolar. And as it turned out, I ended up being bipolar as well. Like, it's sometimes something I really need to struggle with and something I need to battle, and for long stretches, I haven't worried about it. So it's a sort of interesting piece of my life. And lithium is a drug that brings in your highs and your lows. And I always have complicated feelings about it. Just like I did the hospital. The hospital kept me safe. The whole point of it is I was like brought there to be safe from myself and from other people. But I still felt incredibly trapped. And same with lithium. It's a very helpful tool to help me be like safe and reliable in my life. But there are still moments where I wonder about it and resent it. So it's a very complicated relationship. And I think that song was just a way to explore all the ways that my journey through mental illness and trying to find mental health have affected me. And the whole way through, it's been an interesting insight into something that huge amounts of people struggle with. Every time I play it at a show, the conversations following it are massive. And I don't mind talking about it. And I think everyone who has struggled with their mental health has a really complicated relationship with that journey. So, and I love the idea of making a sing-along where at the end of the song, people are all singing about lithium who've never heard of lithium before. I just think that's so funny.
Well, it is funny.
Yeah.
And you're good at talking about it.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'm sure it helps some people to hear somebody just say these things out loud.
Yeah.
When I think about the weeks leading up to the hospital, how I stole your roommate's rings, left you waiting on me island, and all those cryptic notes I wrote on your Facebook wall feel sick. Boy, did they write the book on me. Thoughts of grandiosity, talking fast, moving quick. Honestly, I was so relieved just to be happy. Chemicals can take the blame, still I can't help but feel the shame, wondering what could have been if it had been normal, if I hadn't gone crazy. But on your part, to be fair, I was right across the street, and you only came to see me once in 5 weeks. But on your part, to be fair, I know it caught you unaware. How are you supposed to know how to help me? The thing about the hospital was that I was hoping I wouldn't need it. The thing about the hospital was that I was hoping I'd be fine. I've always been a little bit wild, I've always been a little bit sad, yeah. The thing about the hospital was it ate up all my precious time. What a shock to find my brain back in the fog this summer. All consuming, suffocating, same old story. I could feel you pulling back, shutting down. Who could blame you? So close to it, black hole sinking, a sinking ship. So on my part now, I swear I will do everything I can not to ever get that low again, 'cause I hate it. And on my part, I swear I will do everything I can not to ever go that high again, 'cause it broke me. See me now, I'm being so careful. See me now, I'm being so good. Still I got my reservations, just like any sane person would. And the thing about the lithium is that I was hoping I wouldn't need it. The thing about the lithium is that I was hoping I'd be fine. I've always been a little bit wild, I've always been a little bit sad, yeah. The thing about the lithium is I guess I'll miss my edges a tad. The thing about the lithium is that I was hoping I wouldn't need it. The thing about the lithium is that I was hoping I'd be fine. I've always been a little bit wild, I've always been a little bit sad, yeah. The thing about the lithium is I guess I'll miss my edges a tad.
most of these songs have been from Sensations in Two Dot, which is the album we put out the last time we played here. And the whole album was written to try to kind of open each song to be as empathetic and as compassionate as I could write it to be. And it just so happened to come before a year where I think a lot of that was needed. But this song I wrote over a few sort of lonely couple of weeks renting out a piano in Toronto. You wanted something real, oh then let me show you something real. You wanted something good, oh then let me show you something good. You wanted something right. Treat you right. Has it been too long since somebody really saw you? Has it been too long since you let somebody know you? Has it been too long? Has it been too long since you had someone to love you? Since you had someone to love? A soft place to land. Thank you.
We are now to the silly part of the show. We're going to have a contest. The winner of the contest will receive a prize. And the contest is to make me a sandwich. I've come to your house, only it's not really your house. You have everything available that any delicatessen or diner or any kind of sandwich shop would have. And you want to impress me, you want me to produce your next record. By the way, not available for that. I'm booked straight out, so don't even ask. You may be more passionate about this sandwich if you build your favorite sandwich. Mm-hmm. Or you could look at me and say, this guy wants sausage on it, or whatever. because I could tell by looking. All right, you could play it one of two ways, but you are about to make me a sandwich. I want a sandwich.
You've come to the right family because if there's anything the Cardiellos know, it's food.
Oh,
And that's probably like 80% of what we talk about in our family. I'm gonna do homemade sourdough focaccia bread that I learned how to make during the pandemic, because that's what we did. Let's get some mozzarella from like the fresh mozzarella balls of New Jersey, drizzled in balsamic vinegar. We'll do thin layers of prosciutto and like barbecue roasted red peppers, like Poppy used to make, and garden fresh tomatoes. And no, basil. It's just gonna be simple, but all the best of the best.
sounds pretty good. Can you top that, John?
That's crazy similar to what I would have thought
I
of
knew it.
first.
Well,
John's trend in our entire childhood, and it turns out adulthood as well, is anytime like I'd come out eating like a cheese string, and John would be like, "Oh, Rach, what's that? Cheese string?" Oh. And then like 5 minutes later, he'd come out with his own cheese string. Anything you eat, he
It's true.
just arrives eating the same thing.
That's true. I like doing things in a team. Okay, I'll keep it local and do a fresh loaf from Park Avenue. They've got really good bread. Maybe it'd be like the old world loaf that Mom always gets.
Oh,
them
yeah.
in. Sliced thick, and it's gonna be done on a panini press, so a little bit grilled, and goat cheese, and then fig preserves,
Figs.
and
Heavy hitter.
I'll do prosciutto as well,
oh,
but also a layer of turkey, and then some arugula and fresh tomatoes grown on the roof of the Myrna. There's a garden up there. There's gonna be a dressing with the red wine vinegar that Trevor, Rachel's bass
Trevor
player,
Riddle's
makes.
trying to become more Italian than us. So he started making red wine vinegar.
It's gonna be like that with some olive oil and salt and pepper,
ooh.
toasted or grilled.
So those both sound delicious. John, I have to say that you lost on a technicality that you would never know about, but when you said thick sliced bread, you'd lost.
Good try.
Nice. Handshake. Well done.
And that means that Rachel gets the dollar.
Yeah.
No way.
It's a little damp, I'm sorry.
Cool.
Amazing.
All right, y'all have been watching the Myrna Soundstage. I want to thank Rachel Cardiello and John Cardiello for being here, and to thank ZINNIA for playing a concert at the Myrna Loy. May there be many more. It was a pleasure to talk to both of y'all and to listen to you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
I've been thinking about the ego you painted. field and you told me what your brother did. I've got a list, it's got strangers and fathers and guys from around our town, and every single name still hits me in the gut. I could put it in the gut. Yeah, every single name still hits me in the gut. I could put it in the gut. Every single name still hits me in the gut. I could put it in the gut. Every single name still hits me in the gut. I could put it in the Every single name still hits me in the gut, like a bullet in the gut. Yeah, every single name still hits me in the gut, like a bullet in the gut. Every single name still hits me in the gut, like a bullet in the gut. Yeah, and every single name still hits me in the gut like a bullet